suggesting that Jesus Christ was a mushroom?
Put pretty blankly, yes.
Pow!
Surely you don't suggest that Jesus Christ and his various disciples were not human creatures?
Yes. You are dealing with a secret cult, a secret society. The stories of the New Testament contain certain incantations, certain magic names, which were really the names of mushrooms.
No, but the writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, these men who wrote the story, you are telling me they did not exist?
No.
None of them existed?
No, it's part of mythology. It's part of mushroom mythology.
The new moon rode high in the crown of the metropolis, shining like who on top of this? You are traveling with the holy mystic. Your favorite mystics. Your favorite astrologers. Favorite astrologer. The new moon rode high in the crown of the metropolis, shining like who on top of this? You are traveling with the holy mystic.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It is the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com, columbianexchange.com. Thank y'all for joining me. Those who catch the live, those who catch the recording, those who are listening to the podcast, I want to thank you, but I also want to give you this work. So the best thing that I could say is take notes, study your chart, understand your chart, and apply the information that your chart is giving out. And the best way to do it is repetition. If you look at your chart for one time and be like, man, this is some bullshit, I don't understand it, that's normal. However, persistent views, looking stuff up, cross-referencing, application, things of that nature, you will understand yourself at a spiritual level. The reason why astrology and, why it's a joke is because it's not a simple thing to understand. And as much as people want to talk about it, doesn't mean that they understand it. You can read and recite things from Google all day long, but the understanding of astrology is very important for your spiritual development, and that's why I'm here. So let's just get into this. As I was saying earlier, don't just try to wish for astrology, wish for spirituality. Certain things in reference to you, it's a skill. Understanding yourself is a skill, and you can wish to understand yourself or get in the science of really get into the nitty gritty of who you are at a spiritual level. More than talking about it though, I'm going to show y'all better than I can tell y'all. We will be discussing a new moon in this article, and the most important things about new moons, full moons, any transit is to look at your chart. So what we have here is my chart on astro-seek.com. And this isn't like true sidereal. is like kind of a sidereal chart. It gets the job done. I will be talking about Virgo, but it has it in Libra. Western astrologers will say that is in Scorpio. But we're dealing with the astronomy and dealing with the true sidereal. But anyways, what I like to do with new moons is first the inside ring, if y'all can see, is my chart. This is my birth chart. The outside ring is the transits of the day, right? If a baby was born, this will be their birth chart, and it'll be on the inside, and everything that happens after that will be a transit, and it will play off the energy for which the snapshot for which you were born. This new moon in particular is in my first house. So new moons in first house is one of the most clicheest words in the spiritual community, but I'll buy a bag of it. That word is new beginnings. The first house is your first house. It's the house that you are formed, the house that you are birthed out of. When you are born, your rising sign and everything that comes out of it is your first house. So when I was born, in my first house was Pluto and Saturn. So with those two placements, you can tell why I'm so dark. But it helps me understand that I used to smoke black and milds. I used to catch the bus, and I will, and if I have to catch the bus, I'll catch the bus again. I've been homeless. I've been to prison. I've had a rough upbringing. A lot of it, and I was always the same person. But Pluto in the first house is rough, right? It's rough up until a point. Pluto is all about transformation. Saturn is all about teaching lessons. As much as I teach and as much as I try to help people, I've learned a whole lot. And, as much as I've changed, I really feel like I haven't reached the crescendo of my transformation. However, this new moon conjunct my first house, conjunct my Pluto, conjunct my Saturn, represents a new version of Kyrie. This is the last days of y'all seeing this version of Kyrie. I'm about to do a complete transformation, okay? Talking about new beginning energy. I'm talking about, I don't know what this new phase is going to be. I keep seeing platform shoes. I keep seeing three-piece suits. I keep seeing hats with feathers on it. I keep seeing Cadillacs with Vogues on the tires. And I'm not saying that I'm turning into a pimp. I'm just saying I keep seeing these videos. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all gotta excuse me. I like to joke a lot. And sometimes my jokes be more of the pimp and hoe variety. I just think that's the funniest shit in the world. Some people be real triggered because y'all be actually used to be on Backpage. They used to pray to God and say, if I could just get away from this pimp, I'd be so happy, Lord, I'll go to church. Your ass need to be in church. Your ass need to be in church. All right. So anyways, yeah. So for me, this is a transformative solar eclipse new moon. Why am I showing y'all this? To show y'all my chart? Absolutely not. If I'm going to do this and I'm going to look at this and I'm going to get an understanding of the energy that I'm coming into, am I showing y'all this because I'm special? No, I'm showing this shit because y'all got the same motherfucking chart that I got. And y'all, not the same chart as I got, but y'all got this new moon is happening in a house in your chart. Figure out. I'm gonna do a background. I'm gonna do a thing. So I already got the tab open. So I'll just go astro-seek.com. Come here to the sidereal transit chart. Click that. Put in my birth information. Put in the date of the new moon, October 25th, around 10:48 a.m. and click calculate transits. I see the new moon is right here. I got to figure out what house is in my chart. This ain't my chart no more. It's a random chart. But please, if y'all care about the new moon, care about this energy, find out what house it is happening in your life. Another thing, article, Substack, link in the description. Beat me there. Click it, read it, subscribe. Join the Substack. We're going to have a sub eating competition this Sunday. Subscribe so you can get the details. People be DM me it. I be always talking about real shit. Y'all never message me or DM me. The moment I start talking about some stupid shit and telling y'all to DM me, y'all be DM me. Hood, I heard in the video you said it's a sub competition. Can I get any tickets? When I said do a marketing powwow, I got crickets. But now I'm saying let's do a sub eating competition and y'all want to come through. So join the Substack. Maybe we will, maybe we won't eat subs. That is dependent upon you. So yeah, man. Let's get into the conversation. But before we get into the conversation, please let's pay some bills. White Rabbit Psychedelics, the new Valtrex. What? I heard. Now, do not quote me on this. Please do not quote me on this. Please don't quote me on this. It was this girl that had herpes and she started microdosing and her herpes went away. Please don't quote me on this. This is the selfie that she sent me. I said, how you send a selfie like this? She said, the Apple got a timer. You go 3, 2, 1. And I was doing this and it just take the picture for me. I said, why you have your hands like that? She said, I had herpes. Can you help me? I said, all I got is these microdose capsules. You know what happened after that, y'all? She cut off all her hair and she was smiling. She was happy. Please don't quote me. Please don't take me serious. Okay? Because y'all watch Sprite commercials and they say Sprite can quench y'all thirst and y'all ain't never sued them. Y'all ever been thirsty and drunk a Sprite? You might fall into a whole stroke, seizure, and heart attack at the same time. Now, when I start making jokes about psilocybin, y'all gonna take me seriously. I heard on his YouTube, he said that you could cure herpes with it. I'm just joking. But I did get a review from this lady who said that it did cure her herpes, though. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Once again, Linktree in the description. Do not message me, DM me, or comment. Hey, Hood, I heard you talking about microdosing. How can I find links in the description? Linktree. Click the Linktree. Then figure it out from there. If you can't read, if you can't follow instructions, I cannot help you. If you ask me any type questions outside of how can I follow instructions, I will just look at you like you slow. That was my little promo. Links in the description. We got a sub eating competition. We giving away free Valtrex. Just hit the links in the description. Oh, y'all think I'm probably crazy, don't y'all? I am. So yeah, let's talk about this new moon. Very powerful moon. And let's just look at it with our eyes. Let's just look at it with our eyes. So we have the sun, we have the moon, and we have Venus. White Rabbit to clear that goddamn whatever you're using Valtrex for. I need to come up with a jingle. Valtrex is on your side. Anyways, yeah, the sun, moon, and Venus. Very powerful solar eclipse. Now, a solar eclipse is powerful, but when you add on Venus, you add in Sidereal Virgo, you have a very powerful energy. And it's so wild that the sun, moon, and Venus could be in Virgo. And these Negroes will be talking about a new moon in Scorpio. And it's like, right, it was player hating for some reason. Look like we back on. So yeah, it allows me to learn these fixed stars. It's a lot of information about astronomy. There's a lot of constellation. There's a lot of stars. And I don't always like to just randomly just look up a star and learn it and all of that. But when these aspects do occur, I bring out my little nerdy glasses and I start to actually do the work, you know. Really getting into Sidereal, it really teaches me about ancient history. Because ancient oracles, ancient astrologers, ancient doctors, ancient healers didn't have the internet to reference the astrological aspects and transits and things of that nature. All they had was the sky, the stars, and then the backdrop on the stars, the constellations. So sidereal astrology is more of a natural observational form. It's not nobody telling you what the placement is. You can look at the placement for yourself. You see the sun, the moon, and Venus in the constellation of Virgo, and you just get into the science of this. But what area of Virgo is this energy at? And it's at the feet of Virgo. And the feet of Virgo is very symbolic, very spiritual, written in the Bible about Jesus's feet, Mary and Jesus. These concepts that we hear in the Bible, and they're very powerful concepts, you know, Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ, and all of these things, they're talking about astronomy. They're talking about astrology. Virgo is Mary, Jesus' mother, but Virgo is also Jesus because Virgo is Jesus' mother. Like your mother births you, so she holds some rights over you to a certain degree. Because without her, you wouldn't exist. She could do so many things to stop you from existing that her energy is the most important and most powerful energy. So once again, if you ever wanted to get a sidereal birth chart for free and just wanted to look up true sidereal aspects, you could go to masteringthezodiac.com, look for charts, and put in your birth information. I put in the new moon date, and even on his site, it shows that Sun, Venus, and the moon is actually in Virgo according to the stars, right? And that's very important, Kendra. Virgo and grounding and earth energy is so important, especially this energy within the skies. This energy within the skies is called Surma, or the feet. Another way of explaining this energy, this is why I'm talking about it. I'm very serious about it because I talked about the full moon portal and jumping timelines. Let me tell y'all this. Well, I told y'all like the full moon, you was going to wake up into a whole different timeline, a whole different reality. Maybe it went in one ear and out the other. But for me, I went to sleep with my phone. This is a new phone that I got right here. Brand new phone. Because my old phone was on my nightstand when I went to sleep. When I woke up, that bitch was gone. And usually if I lose my phone, I'll find it. But I knew that I was in a whole different timeline. I knew I'm never going to find that phone. That phone is in the old timeline, bro. Like that phone is gone, right? It's gone, and it's just in another dimension. And we are in another dimension. So I'm saying all of this to say, when you start talking about this new moon, this isn't a portal. This is a gateway. Now, the difference between a portal in a gateway is that a gateway is like you're still in the same dimension, but you have access to not a different dimension, but a different realm. And I would classify a realm as a place that you go once you no longer are in the physical body. So that might sound crazy, but then you got to think about Halloween, right? You got to think about the Day of the Dead. What do these days symbolize? These days symbolize the veil being thin. So the veil being thin is a gateway. So it's like a gate, right? A gate, and it's this realm, and over there is the spiritual realm, right? And if it's a gateway, we could actually walk over or exchange energy, do what we need to do, is reference of the spiritual life and spiritual power. And this is what I mean by studying Sidereal Astrology. I don't know what I would be talking about if I'd be talking about Scorpio, and the energy's not even in Scorpio, it's in Virgo. But since it's in Virgo, I could deal with these fixed stars. The fixed star Surma, if y'all could see her. So the fixed star Surma is at the base of Virgo, right? It's the last star of Virgo. And if you look at the upper right picture, Sun, Venus, and the Moon are in direct alignment of the fixed star Surma. And we have a solar eclipse in unison with the fixed star Surma. So once again, when we're dealing with solar eclipse, we're dealing with new beginnings or times to set intentions. Set intentions about what? And maybe you might have a personal intention, that's well and good. At a collective intention or a spiritual intention, what does this gateway give us the option to grasp? According to astrologyking.com, the significance of this star and title lies firstly in the heavy personal responsibility, which is implicit in the occult questing and acquisition of spiritual power. So, trust me when I say that you niggas need spiritual power above all things. And harnessing and grasping spiritual power is just not the easiest, simple thing just because you talk about it and read about it. Usually, what they say, timing is everything. New moons represent timing. Now, this is some real shit that happens to everybody, but everybody don't care about it. So usually, since you don't care about a gateway, and you don't care about acquiring spiritual power the same way that you care about acquiring money, acquiring status, acquiring whatever you are acquiring, to separate your heart, mind, and body and soul solely on acquiring spiritual power is like not what most people are doing. However, if you want to rise above the noise, rise above the Kanye gate, I call it Kanye gate, rise above whatever else ritual that they going, for sure, bro, I guarantee. And y'all can clip this if y'all want to. Either 3 days before or 3 days after, they will perform a major ritual 3 days before August 25th, 3 days after August 25th, because it's all about setting the intentions and letting the energy naturally grow and progress. This is what they do. This is what they do. And it's not a bad thing. It's something that we can do, right? I only show rituals. I only talk about secret societies, not to talk bad about it, but I really feel like shit. Who trying to meet me in the forest and do a ritual? Who is really about that life of voodoo possession? Like really listening to what the spirits have to say. That's a very important message. So real quick, let's do this, right? Let's do this. I want to show y'all something. Because this is what we talking about with spiritual power. I got a reel, but I want to show it on this video. Because I've been dealing with this Poseidon energy like crazy. And I was trying to understand what it was about and what all this Poseidon stuff was talking about. And then it spoke to me. But now I can't find the video. Oh well. You can watch it on my IG story. But anyways, to summarize, the ego is such a powerful thing. The ego will have you live a spiritual life without spirits. I said the ego will have you living a spiritual life without spirits, without deities, without entities. And we might feel like we don't need to deal with that or even understand spiritual things. And like Poseidon, and so like Poseidon, like it's just this energy that I just been seeing and feeling. I've been like talking with it. Like if you really working with me, send me a sign. And then I just be humming a song. I was like walking outside. And I was like, Poseidon, send me a sign. I just said that out loud. I got in the car, bro. I sat down. And then I just started humming a song. It's like, I wanted to wrap you in a warm embrace. I get you touch from heaven, girl. Heaven. Wanted to wrap you in a warm embrace. It's a part in that song where he say, temperatures rising, Poseidon. I said, what the fuck? Like, that's not even a lyric that would be in a song. And as much as I sung that song, and I know that, like, I just uttered the words, Poseidon, give me a song, give me a sign. I just wanted a sign because the energy was there. But I'm the type of person, like, I be wanting to know. And sometimes spirit, they don't tell you. Sometimes you don't know why a spirit is on you. But if a spirit is working with you, and you, in your heart, in your mind, in your body, feel like an entity is working with you, work back with it. Because human beings don't know shit. The ego don't know shit. And 10 times out of 10, if you're not getting gnosis from spiritual beings, then you probably lost. So as I was saying, this energy, Surma, is at the foot of Virgo, the foot of Jesus, the foot of Mary. Every time I reference Surma, Spirit talks to me in a way of the book of John, chapter 12, verse 3. Then Mary took out a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of perfume. It's all symbolism for the outpouring of love that the ego blocks, period. The ego is why you will not pour out love unconditionally. Not because a nigga hurt you, not because you pulled what. Give me the excuse. If y'all can comment, please comment in the chat or on this video the reasons for why you don't give out a generous outpouring of love. The ego. The generous outpouring of love is the spiritual world inundating an abundance and infinite of information, wisdom, and guidance. The ego will say, well, my left leg is bigger than my right leg, so this is why don't nobody want me. The ego will say, I got a little fupa. The ego will say, I got on some yaki, and I'm a man, and men and women don't like men that wear yaki. My shoes is dirty. I'm broke. I got a job. I don't got a job. No. The generous outpouring of love is retarded by the self-consciousness, Judas, or the ego. So when Mary wipes the feet of Jesus with her hair, that's the generous outpouring of love. And that action that she done, she just wiped one person's feet with her hair. Now the whole house is filled with the fragrance of perfume. Meaning that when you do one thing, fuck that. When you do multiple things, fuck that. When you live a whole life of generous outpouring of love, you affect the world. I don't care about shit else. I know the work that I've done have affected the way that the world operate and think and move. It's shit that I talked about that ain't nobody on the planet talked about until I talked about it, and then everybody started talking about it. I will continue to be such way because I'm in the space of the generous outpouring of love. The ego says, man, go smoke a blunt. Fuck this video. This shit don't matter. But y'all need to understand. Not even y'all. I need to understand. The generous outpouring of love is retarded by the self-consciousness or the ego. And that's the gateway. That's the gateway. But you wouldn't be able to see the gateway if you not tapped into the celestial energy or the cosmic energy or the observable energy of the sun, moon, Venus, South Node. In the energy of Virgo, the feet of the goddess, the gateway. So what is the gateway in real life? Our feet are the gateway to grounding. If we don't have our feet on the earth, then we don't ground, we don't connect. So that connection between sole of our feet, to the ground, is how we ground and connect our energy to source energy. And the energy sent up from the source comes from through our toes, in our heels and on our legs, knees, thighs, and through the rest of our body. And we send that energy back down into the earth. The energy that the earth gives us from the ground, from the root, right? And then from the sun gives us electromagnetic energy that allows plants to grow, allows us to get vitamin D. Y'all got that smooth brown cocoa butter skin. You feel me? Oil. Hey, bring the baby oil out thanks to the sun. Right? You got the moon holding the tides back, making sure we not drowning and shit. So you got the sun, moon, Venus, the morning star, the brightest star at night, the brightest star at the morning, the star of illumination. All of these energies converge and bring about a gateway. And if we were in ancient tribal societies, we would be getting our shit together. We would be preparing for a solar eclipse, conjunct Surma. But either we Western astrologers, right? And we don't give a fuck, really. We getting our views and we talking our shit and we feel good about the shit that we're talking. But we're not mobilizing. We're not in the generous outpouring of love. Niggas is using astrology to figure out if they gonna find a boyfriend this month. Find a boyfriend this week. Am I gonna get hired? Is these white people gonna hire me this month? This is what they using astrology for. I want y'all to understand the connection of source, which the sun is a generous outpouring of love. It is not retarded by the self-consciousness. It doesn't say, well, this nigga is late on this goddamn child support, so I ain't gonna shine on him. This nigga done pushed a little kid down in the swimming pool, I ain't gonna shine on him. The sun is going to shine love regardless. Now tell me why your whole ass is not sharing love. Y'all real quiet when I ask the question. Easy, agreeable questions, I get an outforth flow of words and letters. But when I ask the question, why are you not generously outpouring of love as the spirits do to you, sun, moon, earth energy? When you ground, it don't say, well, you fucked that nigga last night, I can't give you this earth energy. All you got to do is take your shoes off and walk barefooted and you will be grounded. It's not judging. So when you judge on any level, who are you hurting? Your damn self. When you come up with the factors and the figures and the statistics and the reason for which you are not generously outpouring of love, fine. But who are you hurting? Yourself. Because if the sun is too massive, the moon is too massive, the earth is too massive to pick and choose on who is going to give energy to. You are more massive, believe it or not. You got all of the planets within you. You got the sun, moon, and all of the celestial energies within you in the realm of chakras. A spiritual being having a human experience will drop January 23rd. Link is in the description. Check out the link tree if you want to get yours in reserve. Save $10. It argues that many questions of wasted substance through unwise and indiscriminate giving, but the secret motif of its objection is that it desires to absorb the precious ointment itself. If we allow this selfish reason to rule in consciousness, the love flow turns in instead of out and eventually congeals. And it blocks everything. Your mama, your daddy, your grandma, and your grandfather are congealed. Their love flow has been stopped because all they care about is themselves. And this is what you will be coming into. If you don't understand that, it's not about holding shit in. That is not the nature of spirit. You walked outside today and the sun shined his rays on your ass. That's the nature. When you come outside and you like, well, I haven't got there yet. I haven't reached the level of getting to the outpouring of love yet. You're going to be behind. So when we talk about Virgo, we're talking about Isis. When you talk about Isis, we're talking about Horus. Talk about Horus, talking about Jesus. Isis, Jesus, Horus, Mary are celestial objects. The reason that they're so prominent in the Bible, because Jesus is what? Jesus is the Son. Is Jesus the Son or is Jesus not the Son? Am I crazy? Because last time I checked, Jesus is the Son of God, the Son. So when the Sun is in Virgo, Jesus is with Mary. So when you read the Bible, Jesus was with Mary Magdalene. His mother is named Mary. And there are virgins. One is Venus, one is Virgo. All celestial, astronomical conversations. And it's very powerful. The reason that you think it's not powerful is because you don't understand or overstand. How would you think something is powerful if you don't understand it or overstand it? But you know it's powerful. You can't tell me that ISIS isn't powerful. You've heard about ISIS. You heard about Jesus. You heard about these things before. So you know that they're powerful. You give love, not for other people. So sometimes you get so concerned on other people. And to be honest, that's an excuse for you to continue to not give love unconditionally. When you give, like the example, if you just came out of an orgy and walked outside and the sun was shining, the sun ain't going to say, oh shit, this nigga just got out the orgy. Somebody bring some clouds out, because I ain't about to shine on this nigga. Can't be out here having orgies and get my goddamn grace. That makes no sense. It really don't matter what you do. I give love the way that I give love, not for my wife, for my children, for y'all, for my mama, for my daddy, for my brother, for my sister. I give love for me. When I'm snoring at night, if anything bad to happen to me, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I was in the flow. Because the reason that I am this way is because Spirit have spoken to me so clearly, so matter-of-factly, so clairvoyantly, so prophetically. I owe everything to Spirit. I owe everything to Source, and it is given to me for nothing. So why would I come up on here and just be acting like, well, I don't know what to tell y'all. This is a message of prosperity. This is a message of hope. This is a message of connectedness. So if you can understand how Spirit gives to you, then you can begin to incorporate that in how you give to others. Easier said than done, though. Especially if you're selfish, and especially if you're tapped into the ego. And usually those things are hard to let go. Being selfish and being in the ego. So why is a solar eclipse so powerful? We have a new moon every 28 days. And usually, the new moon, the sun and the moon are on top of each other. So when we have a sun and the moon conjunction, the sun is at top and the moon is at the bottom, and they align on the y axis, right? Sometimes it flips, and the moon is on top and the sun is on the bottom. But whenever we have a new moon, they are conjunct, but they are not matched up in longitude and latitude. When we have a solar eclipse, the moon is just so that it comes directly in front of the sun. And this is such a powerful thing because the little bit of time that the moon is in front of the sun is why we are alive on this planet, because that eclipse cools down the sun. Even if it's for a second, it's just what we need for the sun not to burn us to a fucking crisp. So 2 to 3 times a year, the sun comes to an XY axis directly in front of the sun. And now when you look at a new moon, you can see it. You can see the sun behind the moon, right? Usually you just don't see this. You just don't see the moon because the sun is not reflecting its light off of the moon. It's still there. You just don't see it. But once the moon rises up and comes into direct alignment with the sun, you can see the moon in front of the sun. And this is an eclipse. Very powerful shit. If you don't pay attention to it, still very powerful shit. Now, if you want to pay attention to it, you will notice the major shifts take place in your life because you are conscious during a solar eclipse. The fascinating thing to me is that the Hindus, with no satellites or telescopes, were able to navigate the movement of the lunar and solar paths and create a name for it. Rahu and Ketu. This is so powerful. Why is this so powerful? Because when the sun and the moon comes into an alignment with these nodes, you have an eclipse. And these nodes are moving. The nodes just don't stay in the same space. They move just like everything moves. But these are mathematical points that the ancients knew about, and the ancients would harness this energy. Now, when we talk about the ancients, we also have to talk about the government. That's what makes a government a government. Ancient knowledge. Period. When you're ignorant to ancient knowledge, that's the problem. But when you start to take this shit seriously, and start to really say, all right, I'm going to line up my rituals, because you know how motherfucker be lazy, right? I'ma just do it when I feel like it. It don't matter. I'm trying to explain the science to you, and so it's not just me just expressing how I feel and what I'm thinking. I'm trying to show you a world without computers, without laptops, without Google, nothing, just outside, looking up at the sky and saying, oh shit, we got a new moon coming, it's going to be here, and the nodes is going to be a solar eclipse. So let's get ready. Let's prepare in multiple ways. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, magically, everything. Now, is it weird, right? Is it weird that when you go to the doctor, and the doctor, first thing he say, when he's supposed to talk to you, he say, let me look at my chart. Let me look at your chart. Is it also weird that when you get an astrologer, before they start to talk to you, they say, let me look at your chart? Doctors, healers, astrologers, oracles are the same word. Doctors used to look up astrology charts to heal people. And you could still do it to this day. But it's a skill. It's an understanding. It's not random. You got to know what the fuck you talking about. But there is so much within a chart that you can learn about your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, where you going to go in life, how it's going to work out. You owe it to yourself to study your chart. Because say, for instance, you don't study your chart. Then you're going to be seeing an astrologer. Then you're going to be seeing a doctor. And then he going to be looking at your charts, giving you medicines. Right? Eventually. So, heal yourself. Swati Nishaktra. Some very important transitions happening. So over the past 3 months, there has been a conjuring of demonic energy in the bases of your regions and surface areas. And this has been tough because you've been doing a good job and been working very hard to suppress those demons. And now that they're rising up, you feel like something bad is happening, or it's a wrong thing, or it's a problem. Give me a second. So I'm gonna switch mics. I don't know what happened over there or what happened over here. Let me see. You know how it's always gonna be some weird shit when I get on the mic. When I get on the ones and twos, it's gonna always be weird. It's gonna always be weird. Now, so Vayu, the deity of the Swati Nakshatra, is the deity that exorcises demons, the god of the wind. The symbol of Swati is a blade of grass being blown by the wind. And this represents the human life, our human existence. You are this one person with this one consciousness, and you are connected to source, but you're also like this one person, right? This blade of grass. But the wind, it could carry you to a lot of places that you wouldn't normally go. So the wind is representing spiritual essence. And as melanated people and people who are spiritual, we do ourselves a disservice by not being spiritual. If you are a Swati ascendant, the message from these energies and these gods and these deities is that you need to work with us. Stop ignoring us for your ego. Stop being so ego-centered. Open your mind. Where would you be just want to eat and have sex and travel? There's more to life, right? And but usually you don't know, because it's like the wind is just carrying you in this weird place and you don't have no control. And yeah, it's scary. Very, very scary. Very, very weird. But enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Now, Swati Nakshatra, Swati, Saraswati, another word for saying that's the Hindu version of Isis, the Hindu version of Virgo. But when you look at this feminine energy and you got the Venusian energy kind of sprinkled in there, what we're talking about is spiritual energy. We talking about magic. We talking about ritual. We talking about spells. Right? We talking about that work. And if you got a problem, you got a problem. One time I was living with my aunt. And she was wild, bro. She was wild for no reason, bro. Like, she would be doing the most. And I had my kids with me at this time. So I was just like, she would be having drug dealers and stuff at the crib. And it was like, it was her house. And I was just like, I'm about to just, like, what am I supposed to do, right? I could leave. Then something told me, bind that bitch. Just bind the fuck out of her. Tie her hands up so she can't do no more dumb shit. So I did the ritual. And the whole time, I'm just visualizing her ass being tied up. So I'm writing sigils. I'm like spitting on paper, making it powerful. And I put the fucking binding papers by like outside. Like, cause like she lived on like a 1 floor. So her room, balcony, I taped the sigil underneath her balcony. Went to sleep the next night. That lady woke up goddamn tripping. She don't know what the fuck. Like, she done woke up goddamn tripping. Pouring salt. She was pouring salt on me. She done ran out of salt. All she had was goddamn chicken seasoning. She started pouring her chicken seasoning on me while I was asleep. She calling me the devil, all type of shit. But did she call them drug dealers over again? No. Did I move quickly after that? Yes. So I'm not saying just buying anybody, but if you in trouble, if you need something, this is the time to start working with energies. Now, the energy that showed up to me was Poseidon. Poseidon is Vayu, Atlantis. So they say the god of the waters. But Poseidon said, we not talking about that water. Poseidon say, Yemaya is the god of the ocean. Nigga, I'm not Yemaya. And he smacked me. Yeah, nigga, I ain't Yemaya. I'm the king of the cosmic ocean, the celestial ocean. I'm the king of fucking space. I'm the king of rock. There is none higher, nigga. I'm goddamn Poseidon. Put some respect on my name. I don't be in the water. I be in space. I said, oh, makes sense. I done heard that before. But yeah, I'm working with Poseidon. That's who I'm working with. That's who showed up to me. Who the fuck showed up to you? Who the fuck you working with? What energy is you fucking with? Do your research. Understand it more. Get a couple books about it. Get into some spiritual technology. I was binding, this was my aunt that I was binding. And I was binding because she was inviting drug dealers over the house. I had my kids over there. We would sleep and they would be selling drugs. And people would be coming in and out the house while we would sleep. And I wanted her to stop doing that shit. So I binded her so she could stop bringing drug dealers in her house. For her safety, I didn't want nothing to happen to my aunt. I didn't want nothing to happen to me, and I didn't want nothing to happen to my kids. And as much as I said, I done got mad at this lady, I done put my life at risk, these niggas done got mad at me, still wasn't doing it. So the only thing that popped in my mind was to bind. It ain't no binding for no goddamn, for no sex. But yeah. Whatever spiritual energy works with you or is dealing with you, this is the time to do some offerings. This is the time to have conversation, maybe do some automatic writing, things of that nature. So, some themes, new moon themes, renewing spiritual vows. This could be personal, meaning establishing a deeper relationship with your significant other. If you find yourself single, then you could renew the spiritual connection that you have with your soul. But really establishing and getting a deeper connection with that for which you love and want to grow with in the future. This new moon is a gateway or an access point to spiritual power. This energy, the veil is open. So if you want to contact ancestors, if you want to contact dead loved ones, you can do so by offerings. You could do so by spiritual work. I have a renewed sense to go back to the mounds and do some work with the mounds, so I will be doing that for my new moon energy. Dependent on self. You could be very dependent, and when I say dependent on self, I mean very much of led by the soul, being guided by the soul. You don't want to follow Republicans, Democrats, fat people, skinny people, rich people, poor people. You want to follow your soul. And if you don't have a conversation in reference to your soul, John Kabat-Zinn, mindfulness for beginners, you got to practice this stuff. You got to get out of your mind. You can't be thinking all the fucking time. You got to reduce some of the thoughts, really get a grasp of your quiet mind so the self can lead you and guide you effectively. If you thinking thoughts of other people, right? Shit that happened in the past, worrying about the future, the soul is talking to you right now. Make a conscious effort to listen to your soul. Finally, demon exorcism. The emotional and mental torment have been like a suction process. It's been rising these energies up and out of you. So when it comes to the new moon time, what you'll notice is like having like a sickly virus and a bacteria, taking an antidote, and then you just wake up and you just like, damn, the virus and bacteria is gone. It's going to be a massive exorcism of demonic energy that's taking place. Please don't go crazy. Just allow shit to happen and take place. Don't get caught up. Be a little bit more detached. One of the cards on this area is the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. Very much of detached energy. So, just wanted to do a new moon video for the souls out there. They done knocked my mic out, so let me hurry up and end this video before they kill the whole thing. So, like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. See, they taking my video out as I speak. Share this with somebody who you might think needs it. If you need it, watch it again. Take notes. Oh yeah, figure out what house this new moon is taking in your chart. Comment it in the description, and I will give y'all a quasi little mini read. Help out the algorithm, and I'll give y'all some information. If it's like 100 comments, I'm gonna probably stop at a certain point. But if it's like 20, 25, go ahead and comment what house the new moon is taking place in, and I'll give you a little mini reading, couple sentences, right? Couple sentences. So with that being said, man, y'all have a wonderful evening. Have a happy new moon. Get into the streets, get some spiritual shit going on. Connect to this, connect, man, connect. Because these energies is out here, man. And you don't got to struggle. Hit up White Rabbit Psychedelics. Last time I checked, it can cure herpes. If you want to smile like this lady right here, start microdosing. You'll be smiling ear to ear in no time. Peace to the family. It's the Hood Mystic. Signing out. Peace.
Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer. The new moon rode high in the crown of the metropolis, shining like who on top of this? You are in the crown of the metropolis. Shining like who on top of this? It's your baby mama's favorite astrologer.